Alright, there we go, loaded up in, this is Colorado Regional, doing a quick positioning flight over to the military base that's 100 miles away, and then picking up passengers from there and carrying on FS economy. I'm not sure if that's rain or snow. I suspect it's snow with the current temperature and whatnot, but let me just check the weather here. Conditions for the departure. Yep, it's snow, so we're looking at moderate snow for the departure here. I'll go ahead and start loading. Right, we are ready to go. Turn that. Wind for departure is 100 knots. No, sorry, not 100 knots. 100 degrees at 3 knots. Boost pump on. Starter engaged. Waiting for 13% NG. Introducing the fuel. Watching the ITT rise and the NG rise, making sure it's not a hung start where the NG doesn't rise, or a hot start where the ITT gets too hot.
Okay.
Alright, G is rising. You have a good start. The boost pump auto, fuel sector to auto. Go ahead and switch this back to battery. Make sure that the electric batteries are above 24 on the battery to show that the battery's fine, and then I can turn on the main alternator and then go ahead and get rid of the ground power. Open up the inertial separator and I'll bring it up to flight idle. Start taxiing, go ahead and cycle the propeller twice. Get the warm oil moving through the system. We are in icing conditions, so I'll turn on the anti-icing just to make sure we get the full enunciators correctly out of that and that the anti-icing is working. Cycle the prop again. And right here, we're going to be taking off on runway 15 today. As soon as we are lined up, I'm going to go ahead and synchronize the heading bug. And we are ready to go. Bring the power up onto the prop governor first, and then once it's on the prop governor, I can increase the power to 100% torque. On the prop governor, indicating correct at 2000 RPM. Torque up, 97, 98. That'll be close enough. 80 knots, rotate. Positive rate gear is coming up. 200 feet flaps up and tracking. We are in icing conditions at the moment, picking up slight bits of ice on the aircraft. That's what this little enunciator here is showing me. %. I'll go ahead and turn off the inertial separator now. Now you can watch the torque is going to be increasing while the ITT decreases as the inertial separator closes. It takes about 30 seconds for it to go from full open to full close. Oh, hello. Back into clouds. Well, that's fun. We're flying back through visible moisture. I'll turn the inertial separator on again. Opens up a flap in the back of the air intake that allows any heavy objects such as ice or say birds or whatever to just fly straight through instead and out the back of the air intake without going all the way into the engine. Go ahead and sync up the heading bug here. I'm going to leave the anti-ice on, etc. And we're at our first turning point, commencing a right-hand turn. Straight to the destination, so I'm going to go ahead and start loading in the approach. Always quickly check the weather for the destination. Wind 70 degrees at 7 knots. Altitude we need to go down to 8,100. Turn on VNAV, flight level change for now. And I'll tell it to maintain 200 knots in the descent. Yes, at an altitude of 8,100. Descending to 15,000 feet. Now let's look at the pressure. 3025. I'll go ahead and set that. We're going to have a right crosswind on the approach and landing. See the VNAV indicator here. We are a little bit above course, but it is coming in, so I'll try and capture the VNAV, and then the autopilot will just fly straight down that profile. And VNAV has captured. Go ahead and set the torque to 40%. Flight temperature is -21 at the moment. We'll be flying with anti-icing all the way down to the ground. Okay, go ahead and turn on the pulse light and taxi light now in preparation for the approach. I'm going to set my heading to 320, the runway heading. There'll be a slight tailwind actually coming in on this runway. 1,000 feet to go, 9,100 for 8,100. Lights up is alive. 1.5 dots. Runway in sight. 1 dot above, landing gear extending. And approach flaps. Flight path is captured, reducing the power down to 25% torque. That'll give us a good approach speed. And we're going back into clear. "900 feet, I'm going to go ahead and extend full flap. Preparation for landing, the speed will reduce to about 85 knots or so. Right, runway is in sight. We're on final 300 feet above the ground. Go ahead and disengage the autopilot. I'm going to fly this in manually. 3 reds, 1 white, so I'm slightly low. And I'm landing in snowy conditions. There we go, 2 white, 2 red. Back on the glide path. I'm going to be careful on the braking, make sure I don't skid. The threshold, back to flight idle. Bit of left rudder and right aileron, counter that crosswind. Hold it off.
Getting slow.
And touchdown. Reverse thrust. Back up into taxi range now that I've slowed down. Right, looks like it'll be a right-hand turn onto this taxiway. There we go, set the parking brake. Clear the warning. We were just starting to skid for a little bit there when I set the parking brake. Turn off the air conditioner. And ignites pulse lights, taxi lights off, strobe off, nav off. Go ahead and close the inertial separator again. And shut off the fuel. Alright, so that was a short repositioning flight in the TBM900. Flying with snow and icing conditions. IFR flight the whole way. Hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please like and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.